Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Kozy from Marieke van Nimwegen. I hope I got that at least close. All right, this is an interesting tangle. It starts off, if I'm remembering right, kind of like Tangle. And that's one of my nemesis sort of tangles. I think I got it after a little bit, but it's like I didn't enjoy it. And I honestly think it might have been from this first step. So I'm going to try my best. You try your best right along with me. So these are S shapes, but I'm going to do them from the center of where I want it. And you can have as many spokes as you wish. So I'm going to start from here, kind of an upside down, backwards S. And the thing that just keeps running through my mind is it just doesn't matter. Just do it. It's okay. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's all good. Yes. Look it. Oh, I did it quite well, actually. That's the best one yet. Yay. All right. That mantra helped. I'm going to do that from now on. All right. Then on the ends, and of course, you can have these curve more. Take a look at the For More Inspiration link for just that, more inspiration. and a look at how a really neat sample. And actually, some of them, I'm just looking at something else. Okay. Anyway, so on the ends of these, we're going to put an orb on each one. And it's kind of hanging over, onto the side, where that curve is going. So if you wanted to curve a little bit more, you could also do a little takeoff and land, right? So like this, if I wanted to have it like that, so I make this a little bit of a curve. Always something you can do, right? Okay, next. And okay, it's not that it was hard. My brain just goes, oh, I want to do this just like they do. I want to really get this right. And then the rest of my brain, the Zentangle part of my brain says, stop it, you. Just do it. So we're going to start from this orb. And let me, I want to look at her hand again. Yes. Okay. And again, looking at the samples as well as the step out, you'll find different ways. So, coming from the orb, we're going to essentially aura, or we're continuing curve lines from that orb. So like this. And really, I think each of us will find our own way that we're like, oh, well, I'm going to do it this way. And so do it that way. Because there is no right, there is no wrong. And so what I'm going to do is kind of fill up this section with these curve lines, and I'm essentially coming from that point. That's what I decided to do with it. But it looks, I see some places where she maybe like started over, like, so say came from here instead. Well, let's do that. So came from here instead, and like that's the new point. I think I did that on my version of the step outs a couple times. So you could do like that. All right. And then, now this part you could wait till the end to do. I almost did that, but then I decided not to because I don't know. I just wanted to see this kind of complete and I felt better about it. But what we're going to do is essentially rounding on the ends, but it's rather thick. So one of the things that I started doing was just making a nice C-shaped curve line like that in, from one spoke to the next. And usually I fill in kind of as I go. Now, if I was being smart, I will do what I recommend several times because I heard it and I only do it, every once in a while. Okay, so I moved down to the 005 just to make it a little bit more seamless. Let's just see. Yes. And I believe that the reason that it works better, and actually this, I mean, that could be a little bit thicker, but we can go back. When you move down one side, nib size, we'll say, then it seems like it fits in better. You can, the takeoff and land is much easier. So that way, I have this a thinner tip that's merging into this larger existing line. So it really does work. So if you happen to have, or next time you're getting supplies, and if you can get a single 005, or they have the smallest I've seen is an 003, and I did get that from Blick Art. And there's a link to that in the description section. Go to my link tree, which is below the links to the step outs. Oh, look at what I just did there. Oh, good thing it doesn't matter. And you will find that. So that's it. Now, I do this a lot when it's kind of like a neat way to make a flowery type of shape, but usually I'm coming out this way, and it's nice and organized. It's not like, but it has a really neat look, would you not say, in the end. Okay, and this is just a rinse and repeat. Same thing, but everyone's going to be a little bit different because, your size of your space might be different. The way your S came out is going to be different. There are so many different things that can happen. Let me see, I'm going to do it this way. And it's just really, really neat. Now, I could totally see this as, well, as a fill-in, and actually, I'm looking at her sample, and I mean, it kind of looks that way. But I'm just thinking, yeah, what a neat concept this is. And one advantage to alternating between, putting in the curve lines and doing the rounding is it does give you a nice break. So a good opportunity to stretch your hand for a minute, stretch your eyeballs, stuff like that. But that, really, it's the fun thing too to find out how everybody works, because like I said, everybody's different. I was watching, might have been our Zen again, which is kind of like a master class / reunion type of thing for CZTs, and they were joking. Rick and Maria and I think it was Molly and Martha that were up there. Joking about how each of them draw, like some draw a certain stroke towards themselves, and some the opposite way, and some like to fill in the gaps, like when or something like this, but like when doing tipple, filling in the little gaps in between things as they go versus waiting to the end. Like I like to wait to the end and then come back, although I do see the benefits of not waiting. And another nice thing about this is if you ended up going over, that's not going to matter because it's going to get covered up by the other side. So this is just fun because it takes on, you're never going to know what is going to happen next with this one. And, it can just take on, a different life every time you do it. It's neat. Okay, I'm going to try this where I just do the lines, and I'll see how I feel about it. I'm feeling like it's bothering me not matching up like some other part of my brain, where when it's already filled in, I'm just not really thinking about where are those lines ending. So there's a thought. This makes me think a little bit of mycelium, a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, this, kind of curvy, interesting line. As I'm doing it, I'm trying to think of other ways that I could do, but in making the top part, I don't know. Sometimes I just think, well, is there some other creative way that I could do this? What would the other people that I know do? I don't know. I can't wait to see what my friends, my fellow Tangle addicts, what you guys do with this. Just because it's interesting. All right, now I'll come back and do all of these. So it works either way. I don't know. Jury's out. Maybe just because I hadn't done it yet that way, that made it feel uncomfortable. I don't know. Well, I know one thing though. If any part of Zentangle makes you feel uncomfortable, find a different way to do it. Ha! Move your tile. Make sure that your hand is comfortable. And then I'm kind of just making it up as I go, like as I like to say a lot of times with a lot of things. Depending on where these lines went and how I am adding the rounding. But that adds a fun layer of the unexpected too. And honestly, if I would just do like this, that, where I can, that does seem to help. My brain kept doing it, but my hand was refusing. I finally won. Neat. Yeah, it's always these ones, that are like in that corner. I feel like I have to make up as I go along, but in the end, it'll all look really, really neat. And sometimes we just have to trust that. All right, well, you know what? Let me, if you need to take a hand break, if you are enjoying this, and I hope you are. Ooh, it's turning out to be a really interesting, almost maybe a starfish or something. If you're enjoying this, please click on the like button, stretch your fingers and click there. And if you liked it enough to see more, I'm going to say this while we're filling this in. Please, while you're clicking, click on the subscribe button as well. All right, if you haven't done so already. So let's make that line up. All right, last one. Also, as I've mentioned the description section already for links to the step outs and my link tree, but if you are interested in tangling with me and a bunch of other Tangle addicts, we do this on Thursdays. We would take a tangle or two, just depends, and play with it and have fun. And then at the end, we get to see what, well, most everybody, well, I don't even want to say most, a lot of people, especially if they have a webcam, they'll share and we'll take a look at what others did. It's so interesting and so fun. Get all kinds of great ideas and inspiration when we do this. But yeah, so come and join us. You'll see on the link tree places to follow me. I don't have it listed separately yet, but if you like my Facebook page, then you'll see those notices. And we also have a Tangle Addicts community group that, you're more than welcome to join us. It's a lot. We have a lot of fun. There are 4 questions, though, that you must answer in order to gain entry. I have to feel like I have to say that every time because I don't like hitting decline. So, all right. But yeah, come join us. It's like 24/7 Zentangle fun because you know, we have people from all over, and there's a lot of activity on it, I must say. A lot of activity. All right, now for some shading. You know, this is kind of like, well, you know, if you see any places that need to be touched up, you know, part of me is also wondering, instead of rounding, could just add the, thicken the end of the lines, like in mycelium. That could be interesting as well. But I like this. It makes it kind of flowery. Now, for shading, what I'm going to do is, number one, where the points kind of gather. So on this side here, oh, let's just go around and do that. I'm also going to do at the end. And actually, it's like I'm not going to do all the way here because this, I mean, they kind of just gather here. I can always go back and adjust things. But just where those points are, they're kind of creating their own shading. But I just want to accentuate that. All right. And bringing it down just a tad. Look at that already. Yeah, I was debating on the initial orbs, but I think I'm just going to leave them open. Early on in the video, I went back to look, and that's where I was going, oh, I see. Because it looked like some were maybe filled in. It was really hard to tell. You know, and interesting, if you have, I know on my version of the step out, there's a place where, similar to this, but I had something that dipped down quite a ways, and so it was just a little bit different, but I added, again, graphite where the points gathered, and it really, really looked interesting. All right, I'm going to see what I have left here on the Tortillion and put some graphite here on, look at that, on that end. I think I'm just going to, well, for this one, it seems like I have a bit. In this, I am going around the perimeter. Yeah, I think it needs a little bit more of something. Needs to be darker. All right, we'll try just these two. And this one, I'm doing very tight little circles because I want to keep the real darkness of the graphite right at the tip, as much at the tip as possible. And then the rest of it, I do want a gradient, so I'm coming up just a tad so I can try to have the best of both worlds. Wow, like that. Okay, so just pausing for a minute to see the difference between not doing the opposite ends here. Look at how much more, I mean, you still see curve, but this really makes it look, you know, nice and poofy. All right. Always got to pause for a minute and enjoy this shade, as Bijou says. Really neat. I was so tempted to do some line dots in there, but I resisted. It looks really nice without that. That's a whole different look. And you know what? It might having something kind of going in the middle of those, it might look neat also. I don't know. Oh, just really cool. And with this, you just want to make sure that you have some of your natural tile color in the center of these. That's why I'm not bringing it out too far, because I'm working on a little 2" by 2" tile. So I mean, depending on what size you do, you know, you'll have more than likely more to work with than what I have here. But you can just see, you have to have that, you know, this open part, so that way it's somewhat lighter than the rest, so that way you get that poofiness. Just really, really neat. Really neat. And I hope that you have enjoyed this. I already said it. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out the description section. And with that, thank you so much for watching. And I wish you happy tangling.